Hi, welcome to this first video of this Flash tutorial series. This lesson will cover the basic tools used in Adobe Flash, and it is assumed that you have experience in Illustrator and Photoshop. So let's start by creating a new document. When you start the document, you see that you have this white rectangle here that looks very much like an artboard that you have seen in Illustrator. This is called the stage in Flash. So whatever is in the stage, this white rectangle here, will be shown in your animation, and whatever is in the gray zone will be hidden. So you can go ahead and check out the properties panel here, and when you click on the stage, just tap on it to make sure that it is the stage, and you see that there are sets of properties that you can change. One of them is the size, where you might want to change it to, let's say I want it to be a 720p, so we go with a 1280 and 720. Right, so the resolution of the stage has been changed. So the first tool I want to introduce is the rectangle tool. So the rectangle tool is very similar to the one in Illustrator, but you realize that when you create this rectangle here, you will automatically create this stroke around it. And you realize that by using the selection tool, shortcut key V, you can select them individually and move them apart. You can also bend them, and you can also select and delete it, or from the properties panel, just like how we did for the scene, we can change the stroke width, the stroke color, and other properties of the stroke. To select the entire border, you can double click on one of the sides and it will automatically select the border. And if you want to select the whole object, not just the shape, because you see that the shape is not attached to the border, if you just select and just pull it away, you need to double click to select the entire shape together with the border. Please take note that when I created my rectangle, object drawing was not turned on. If you realize that when you create your shape and it's already joined together, like in a group, not separated like the shape, it means that your object drawing has been switched on. By default, Adobe CC should have that turned on by default, and you can switch it off by just clicking on object drawing. So you can see that this is a drawing object instead of, let's say I create one more rectangle here. It is a shape, not a drawing object. You can think of the drawing object as something like, let's say, a group in Illustrator. So you can see that by holding on to the rectangle tool, you can select other tools like the oval tool and other shapes that you can create. So one tool I like a lot in Flash is the brush tool. So the brush tool, unlike Photoshop or Illustrator, when being drawn, you see that initially it looks jagged and edged, but when I let go the mouse button, it automatically smoothens out the whole line here. Okay, let's say I want to color. All right, smiley face, give it a feel. And let's say I want to color this edge here. I want to make it more like give it a glossy feel, give it a highlight, and I'll color this on this edge here. So what I can do is that I can go to my brush tool. I change my brush mode to paint selection. All right, so before I paint, I need to select my fill first, the fill that I want to paint on. I go to my brush tool and change my color. And you can see that even though my brush strokes goes out the selected area, it wouldn't get on those parts, but it will only paint on the selected fill. So that is a very useful tool when it comes to drawing or coloring. Same thing goes to the paint bucket tool. There's also a mode which I like a lot. All right, I forgot to change back to paint normal. And okay, let's say I have this gap here, where I was drawing and I forgot to close in the gaps. Maybe some minor, smaller gaps, not gaps like this big. But anyway, the paint bucket tool allows you to close gap of different sizes. Like let's say I want to close. I think this is a medium gap. Oops, not a medium gap. That's a large gap. The eraser tool works the same as the brush tool. Just like the brush tool, it has the same modes that I was introducing for the brush tool earlier. You can erase fields. You can erase selected fields, just like how you colored in the selected fields. All right, see that? So outside of it would not be, if I'm not selecting it, I wouldn't erase anything in the scene. The free transform tool here is like the one in Photoshop. So you can skew it, you can distort it, rotate it. What I like about this is that you can press on Control and you can distort it like that, which is quite convenient when you need something like you want something in perspective. If you don't press Control, you can press this as well. So you don't have to hold on to Control, but holding on the Control key is faster. You can also do this envelope, which is very similar to the wrap function in Photoshop. Yeah, but all this only works for shapes and strokes like this. So that's all for this lesson. Thank you for watching.